I think you're going to really enjoy the talk on happiness this morning. It's unusual. Happiness is something we don't typically in the spiritual world talk about. But I think by the end of this morning, you're going to take a look at what happiness is, how to build it, how to become happy. And just listening to Richard read some of Twerkham's paragraphs and writings on happiness is a real eye-opener. Before I move into the talk this morning, and the talk, by the way, is how to live a happy life, I was thinking on the way over here, and even as I got here this morning and was looking at all of you and those that are on the webinar, to see if you realize or you have experienced or felt a change in the rhythm of energy that has taken place since the new moon of Capricorn. Have you noticed anything different going on, rhythmically speaking? How do you recognize the difference? Let's see. There's two ways, and that's through practical experience. One is your life seems to be in chaos. That chaos can be health, it can be work. It's just like there's such a different activity going on in your life that you don't have a peace of mind. You're under stress, continual stress. Your sleep is not restful. It's different from what you are used to. Now, the other way to recognize the change of rhythm is to get into the change. So I challenge you to think about this. When I look astrologically at what's going on, and it's not astrology, it's really the music of the spheres, let's say, the orchestration is being composed in a different way. The music is being composed in a different way. It's just a small shift, but a small shift can be a hurricane in our personal lives. So what I am asking you to do is, if you don't meditate, at least sit down for the next 2 weeks. Find a place of quiet, a safe place, a protected environment, and calm yourself. Think about your day. If you are a meditator, set aside your meditation ritual for just a few minutes and do this as well. Think about your day as being, envision your day as being in concert with the rhythm of the universe, the rhythm of the planets, the rhythm of the sun. In your imagination, think how that is. Then think what it means to be a composer. That if you're going to make a little adjustment in that music, what that's going to require from you, such as invoking a new virtue, or the same virtue but in a different way. How you react to your environment must change. When we think of being in control of our physical, emotional, mental body, that means we are in control of our reactions. When we are in control of our reactions, it means we can think clearly and clearly make the needed adjustments. The other thing is to observe. Observe what's happening in your physical, emotional, mental life, and see how you can adapt yourself to this change that's taking place. Be vigilant, be observing. throughout the day. And then the next thing is gratitude. Truly, don't just mechanically say, to the Most High, thank you so much, or I'm grateful for my life. You've got to mean it in your gut. Thank you for my life. And then shift to this. Thank you for protecting me. I know I have the favor of hierarchy behind me. I know I have the favor of the Master behind me. I know I have the power and the love of the ashram behind me. And of course, then realizing all these things brings about a feeling of humility. That your life, your service, your beingness, your light is worthy of the protection and the love and the power of hierarchy and the Most High. That's all you need to do for the next 2 weeks, every single day. After 2 weeks, if you want to continue to start your day like that, that's good as well. You can't go wrong. But just for this next 2 weeks, I think that it will help put you into this shift that is taking place, this new rhythm. Okay? How to live a happy life. I think, especially as I get older, I realize that if I am happy and healthy, that I can accomplish almost anything. These two qualities, happiness and health, as part of our spiritual journey, are all important. And yet, do we really think about it? Typically, we don't think about being happy. We don't think about our health until we are unhappy and unhealthy. So, I believe if we engage in this early morning meditation that I just shared with you for at least 2 weeks, we're going to step into an environment that will evoke happiness from deep within. And with that deep happiness, health follows. We say that energy follows thought. Let's say health follows happiness. Okay. We do most things with the intention of securing our happiness and health, but what is so odd is that oftentimes, unknowingly, more mechanically, we find ourselves engaging in activities that work against our health and work against our happiness because we are just not doing the right thing. We could have an all-day seminar on this of why do we sabotage? What is it? Why do we self-sabotage ourselves when really we want to be happy, really we want to be healthy? So what is that mechanism within our nature that compels us to work against our health and against our happiness? So this is something that we can really think about and be responsible for. And that's the life of the spiritual person, the one who takes responsibility for what's going on in his or her life. average man blames the world for his unhappiness or his poor health. We blame mom and dad. They treated me so poorly when I was growing up. Now look at my life. Look at what they did to my life. You know, we find all kinds of, average man finds all kinds of amazing excuses for the situation that they are in their life. But isn't that empowering the other person and taking our own God-given power and creativity and talent to design a life that is in synchronization with the cosmic universe? So we need to take a look at how do we self-sabotage ourselves. I was thinking about the play on words. Typically a person would say, how do we sabotage ourselves? But we can sabotage other people as well. I don't want to go there this morning. Just look at yourself. Ask yourself, you know, how am I sabotaging myself? This self-sabotage. Because that is what is going against your happiness, working against your health. I also believe, in all fairness to everyone, is that this shift in energy that is taking place now is also, you know, in recognizing the chaos and the health and the unhappiness that it is causing so many people, is to give us the opportunity to recognize what's happening and make the adjustment. To make the adjustment. It's like when, you know, I was playing the violin. I was a professional violinist for the first half of my life. And no matter what a really, really great violin I had, and no matter how great of a violinist I was, if that violin was out of tune, what I played on that tremendous, beautiful instrument was going to sound horrible. So, no matter how great you are, no matter how intelligent you are, if you are working against yourself, if you don't tune yourself every day, like I would have to tune that violin every day, then every day we get more out of tune, more out of tune, more out of tune. Life evolves. Life changes. And if we can't attune ourselves to the changes that are going on, then we become unhappy and lose our health. See how that works? So every day, the ideal is to engage yourself in a scientific meditation. But if you're not there, at least every day, when you get up in the morning or after you get all your busyness done, you go into your safe place and you think about your day, and that you fall under the protection of hierarchy and the master and the ashram, and that you're going to think about this during the day. This too is a process of attuning yourself to the day itself. Happiness and health are related not only to our physical existence, but also to our emotional and mental existence. We must be happy and healthy, not only physically, but emotionally and mentally and spiritually. Now, from the teachings, I'm going to give you a short list of signs that demonstrate a person who is physically happy and healthy. The first is you have energy, or that person has energy. Again, these are a short list of those who demonstrate physically, that's a key word here, physically, that they are happy and healthy. They have energy. Not only do they have energy, but that energy is stable. So you want to have energy, but you want your energy to be stable. It is a good sign when we work harder and notice that instead of losing our energy, we are gaining energy. This means that as we work harder, then our etheric reservoirs open and pump energy into you, into us. The second is we have no pain. Pain is a warning that something is going wrong in our body. It is a warning of our physical elemental. We must take heed of these warnings and then do something about it. Too often, people will ignore these warning signs. We have a little pain, oh, it'll go away. And then 2 years or 3 years later, the pain becomes so noticeable and we realize it hasn't gone away yet. And then we take action. Well, let's take action now. Don't wait 3 years down the road. The third is if you are physically happy and healthy, you do not smell. I know, it's kind of gross. Sorry about that. But this is reality here. You know, if it's like when you're in a hospital and the person is very ill, they smell. When people have cancer, they smell. When people have the flu, they smell. That's just the way it is. There is a poison in their body that is toxic. And if you have any kind of psychic sensitivity, you're going to smell that cancer or you're going to smell that disease before the person even knows about it. You just have to learn how to recognize it. If you smell bad, it means that something is going wrong in your digestion, your glands, your lymphatic system, and so on. Okay. 3, you do not like to work. Now, this doesn't mean you don't work. It just means you don't like work. But you enjoy working. We enjoy working if we are healthy. We bounce out of bed in the morning and we think of what we have to do today. Wow, I get to write the Zodiac newsletter. Wow, I get to create Meditation Monthly. Wow, we've got class coming up tomorrow night. I get to prepare for that. Wow, I've got 25 emails to answer. Yay! And so on and so forth. But if we are not happy, if we are not healthy, we look at what our work is, and it's like carrying a boulder around. We don't enjoy it. When our body is healthy, the will, this is from the teaching, the will to act and do operates in us. The will to act and do operates in us. In other words, a healthy body wants to work. Work gives it release. Number 5, we like to study. The brain is the switchboard of the body. I found that was an interesting phrase. The brain is the switchboard of the body. And if our body is healthy, our mind enjoys keeping that switchboard busy. Busy learning, creating, building, even collecting information. The sick person has no interest. The healthy person is all interest. Number 6, you sleep well. And you can't blame not sleeping well on the weather or on the new moon or the full moon, even though we like to, or on retro Mercury or on this or that. If we are healthy and happy, we're going to sleep well. Number 7, we are a relaxed person, a calm person, a balanced person. Now, let me digress just a minute and go back to the opening of the talk this morning about what we should do every morning, even before our meditation. This exercise that we're going to engage in, some of us will, some of us won't, is going to help relax us. So when crises come to us, it's okay. That reminded me myself of that this morning. A freak accident with another dog. I'm in this animal cycle where one of my little dogs got caught underneath the bird cage. Underneath the bird cage is this plant roller. His collar got caught around the wheel, and it goes running around. The bird's going crazy. He's running around the living room and can't breathe because the collar, the chain on the collar, is tightening his neck, around his neck. And I can't catch him. And then I caught him, and I couldn't unravel the collar from the wheel. Finally, in sheer desperation, I ran to the kitchen, got the kitchen scissors, and was able to cut through the leather part of the collar, and it worked. And I have dull scissors. How it worked, I don't know. But the dog's breathing. He said, "Okay, how about breakfast, Mom?" And I'm thinking, so I'm thinking, calm, relaxed, don't react. It was a very interesting experience. So I learned we can't relax all the time. But what I learned from that, I had a good outcome, positive outcome, but it took me a good 15 minutes to calm down my own nervous system, to relax, to be grateful, that didn't have another, trauma on my hands, and that all is okay. And then I was thinking about, how did I know to run to the kitchen to get those dull scissors to cut the collar? I mean, this is, outside of the chain, which could not be cut. The other part is like a heavy leather. The fact that those scissors cut through the leather was remarkable. So this was inspired thought. And that's where my gratitude came. I got help, to help the dog. Now the dog, totally forgets. So anyway, so I did learn from that experience. So this is number 7. We are relaxed, calm, and balanced. We do have what is called the spirit of tension and striving and daring. And these 3 words must be juxtaposed alongside of being relaxed and calm and balanced. This is what creates an equilibrium. Spirit of tension, striving, and daring. But in all of our tension, we must also have calmness and serenity. On the path of discipleship, those of us that live within this ring of fire, it's called, we must take care of ourselves in as much as I was thinking in the book Cosmos and Man, how we are told disciples must take certain vitamins um, so that the body can assimilate this fire, can, handle a tension that is not normal to the physical, emotional, mental body of a human being. And because this is being recorded and going on to YouTube, I'm not going to list out those vitamins and so forth, but we can talk about it afterwards. Or just go to your health food store, and or go on the line, and you'll be able to figure out what it is, that you need to take. In all of our attention, we must have calmness and serenity, and also know that a relaxed person does not fall into confusion. A relaxed person does not fall into confusion. Number 8, we have a good appetite and we eat well. Our digestion is good, and so forth. Digestion is not only related to our stomach, but also the condition of our solar plexus. Now, to learn more about that, you can read New Dimensions of Healing by Torquem Serderian and learn more about what glands and organs relate to the solar plexus. Digestion is actually a very complex process and is even related to our emotions and our thoughts and our motives and decisions. Our digestion can also suffer if we are with a person filled with irritation. 9 is to have a good elimination system. And 10, we must have color in our face and good circulation if we are happy and healthy. Our eyes sparkle. In fact, those who have eyes that look dead are prone to obsession and possession. And they channel unhealthy forces into their environment. Now let's take a look at the astral body, the emotional body. If our emotional body is healthy, then 1, our imagination is positive. Our imagination is positive. Our imagination is connected with our emotional body and our nervous system. When our emotional body is not healthy, we imagine negative things. Negative imagination indicates that there are lots of disturbances in the astral vehicle. There may be congestion, there may be a malfunction of the astral centers, obsessions, and other various disorders. Again, because I don't have time this morning to go into this, you do. So during the week, pull out your spiritual books. Esoteric Healing by Alice Bailey, or New Dimensions of Healing by Torquem. Read through what does this mean to have congested astral centers. If you find yourself negatively engaged in negative imagination. A lot of people fall into that trap of negative imagination. It is possible to heal our astral body by exercising or practicing positive imagination. So there is a remedy right there, positive imagination. Even in difficult times, try to imagine positive things. Charge your imagination with hope and vision and future success. This is something that you can teach your teenager. If you're a parent, if you're a grandparent, or if you're a great-grandparent, or great-great-great. This is something you can teach that teenage child because they, more than anyone, need hope and vision, and a sense of future. 2, you do not hate if your astral body is healthy. If you are full of hate and cannot forgive and forget, you are really sick, and you're going to make the lives of others sick as well. Hatred is a sickness of the astral body, and interestingly enough, it blocks the light of reason. Hatred blocks the light of reason. When a person hates, you're not going to change their mind because they don't have the light of reason. Most degenerative diseases are the result of sickness in the astral body. 3, an astrally healthy person has no jealousy at all. Jealous people gradually fall into the trap of various sicknesses, and this is why. Jealousy consumes phosphorus and magnesium and iron in the body. Immediately when you feel that pull of jealousy within you, try to bless the person. And know that the sons of men are one and I am one with them. 4, you are considered having a healthy astral body if you do not attack people or even objects like picking something up and throwing it. Interestingly, people who attack others, they also create dirty gossip and will blackmail us and spread psychic poison in space with their imagination. Emotional disturbances take time to come slowly to the surface of the physical body, but when it does, it takes the form of many diseases. 5, you're astrally healthy if you do not become mechanically excited. And this is something the men must listen to. For example, if you are astrally healthy, a naked person cannot stimulate you unless you yourself decide to be stimulated. There are people who lose their control at the first temptation. So how to counteract this? If you take 5 to 10 minutes and imagine various occasions or events which have the power to excite you, but in your imagination you try not to be excited no matter how tempting the occasion or event is, eventually you're going to put yourself in control. Now you develop an immunity and create poise and balance and control in your astral body. Also, some people are astrally excited if they see a bottle of wine or a bottle of whiskey. Number 6, we are not subjected to nightmares. Nightmares are signs that there are disturbances and sicknesses and turbulences in the astral body. If you have nightmares, you need to check your physical conduct, your emotional behavior, the environment, the things you are reading and watching and listening to. If these things are not in good order, sooner or later you're going to be caught in an emotional turbulence. And this turbulence manifests as a nightmare. Now this might be a little complicated, but I wanted to share it anyway. Give you some food for thought about nightmares. Nightmares sometimes happen when our astral door is blocked by violent or criminal images. Immediately when you try to enter, you are bounced back to the etheric or physical body. And if you are caught in these images, you pass through a real nightmare. Nightmares are also caused by astral entities who block the astral passage. They can occupy the passage because of your astral impurity. Nightmares are a warning to check your behavior, your contacts, and imagination. Okay, I'm going to skip through the rest of these and move to the mental. We are mentally healthy if, number one, we do not gossip. This sickness gradually creates disturbances in the astral and etheric centers and manifests in the physical body as a physical sickness. What does gossip mean? I was searching the internet for different stories about gossip, and I found it was interesting. There was a pastor who gave a seminar on gossip. And by mid-afternoon, they were sitting, and someone said, "Give me a definition of gossip." And the pastor said, "Well, let's do that. Let's go around the room and let's everybody give a definition." And even the pastor could not give a definition. I wasn't real sure about that. If you're going to give a seminar on gossip, you're going to need to know what gossip is, you know. But so I found that interesting. But maybe this is something we should take a look at, you know, so we really understand what gossip is and what it is not. Gossip is when we talk about the personal life of others. So you learn something about a close friend, and you may even be helping out that close friend to eliminate a problem or to make their life a little bit easier. And so you've befriended them. And then you go to in that afternoon and you tell 5 people about what you're doing to help your friend. That's gossip. When you talk about the personal life of others or the private affairs of others is gossip. Slander also falls under the definition of gossip. Gossip channels negative energy, and negative substance increases in the aura and creates various disturbances. Number 2, we do not have vanity if we have a healthy mental body. Vanity is a form of self-praise, pretension, egoism, and futility. Pretension is when we think we are more important or more impressive than we really are. People who are sick with vanity try to infect us with their own sickness. They flatter us and they praise us and they bribe us. But if our mental body is healthy, it rejects all of these attacks and stands in its simplicity and purity. Number 3, we are not separative. If we have a healthy mental body, we do not have illusion. Separatism is a mental cancer. It is almost impossible to cure once a person is caught in it. So if at any moment a thought of separatism comes into your mind, throw it out. This does not mean that we lose our discriminative power or that for the sake of unity we sacrifice virtues and vices, or values, virtues and values. Not at all. Separatism is an intense selfishness. So here's the definition, if you want it, for what separatism is. It is an intense selfishness and self-interest at the expense of the welfare of others. Now, remember, we're talking about how to live a happy life. So now we've gone through the physical, we've gone through the emotional or astral, and now we're in the mental. What can we do to live a happy mental life? Number 4, if we're mentally healthy, past painful experiences neither trouble us nor control our present or future thinking and action. Doesn't mean we don't think about them, it means it doesn't control us. Sometimes I think it's good to go back and analyze, and observe how we behaved with a particular painful experience. And then through that analyzation and observation, we can determine if it's still controlling us at some level, and then eradicate it. But we don't want past painful experiences to control our present or future thinking or actions. Those who have healthy mental bodies do not carry past wounds permanently. Number 5, we don't fall into the trap of post-hypnotic suggestions. Number 6, we don't have fear. If you see that a fear is developing in your mind, give your mind a rest. Do your daily meditation and begin to read inspirational or scientific books, or go back and do that early morning exercise again. Okay, we're out of time. Now let me close with this. Discipleship is preparation to face barriers. Those who increase their speed, now we're talking about spiritual people. Spiritual people who increase their speed have greater friction with the air. It is true that it is possible to pass beyond the sound barriers, but on the path of discipleship, we face the barrier of light. The teacher does not promise paradise or a lazy life. He tells us that as we grow, we will have more difficult times, and that greater problems will meet us on our path as we advance in the spiritual life. So discipleship is preparation to face barriers, not only on the planetary scale, but also higher. This is why we must be healthy, not just on the physical plane, but also on the astral and mental planes. It is only through health we can meet our responsibilities. In the coming age, people will try to develop the health of their 3 bodies simultaneously. The hierarchy needs healthy people because only through greater health can greater plans in the universe be accomplished. Okay. Thank you for listening to the talk today. It will be put up on the White Mountain YouTube account. And I think it would behoove us all to listen to this a couple of times, because it certainly takes the subject of happiness into a depth that we probably don't think about. Yeah, okay.